Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ITV. This is your host, Dr. Selim Sılay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. I am really thrilled and excited that ITV is receiving amazing feedback from our viewers across Africa because we are one of the most viewed shows about business, economy, entrepreneurship, and innovation. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I promised you, I'm bringing you people, role models, success models from all walks of life. And today, I have Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik, the coordinator of Al Baraka Garage. Al Baraka Türk is one of the most important banks in Turkey, working with interest-free financial principles. And Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik is doing an amazing job in the entrepreneur ecosystem. So I'm really thrilled and excited that I'm able to actually introduce Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik to you. Ibrahim, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your valuable time. We are really excited to have you on our show.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. For our viewers, I really want you to tell a little bit about Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik. We know you very well, but for our viewers, if you don't mind, who Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik is, what excites Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik?
The new businesses are excites me the most. Let me start with that because in Al Baraka Garage we are listening to entrepreneurs all year long, and we are actually reviewing like thousands of entrepreneurs so far. Al Baraka Garage has been active for 3 years now. So let me to speak about myself. I was born and raised in Istanbul, and I graduated from Boğaziçi University's management department. And I'm married. Actually, my wife is Egyptian, so I can say that we have an international family. Already, I'm connected to Africa in some way. I'm a father as well. So, to speak about my business background, I started my first business experience in a startup. It was about comparing prices online. So it was a price comparison website called Jimmy.com, and it was a startup. So I actually learned a lot of things from that experience. I was working there when I was in university. And actually, I totally recommend it to the students to get know more about the startup ecosystem. They should look to the opportunities in startups because when you are in a startup, you have a very broad. You need to do a lot of things, you have a very broad responsibility, so you have to develop yourself very quickly. You have to learn a lot of things, so it's a very useful experience to develop yourself and get to know to the how startups work. So I totally recommend it. And then I thought I should also get some experience in corporate life. So I attended a management trainee program of Türk Telekom, and I was accepted. Then I started working there full time after my graduation. So I had like 2 years experience, more than 2 years experience in Türk Telekom as a product manager, and then I moved to another startup which is about social media analytics, and then I jumped back to the e-commerce again with Hepsi Burada as a category manager, and lastly I was in Al Baraka. So right now it's been 3 years in Al Baraka. I started in Al Baraka Garage, so it was the beginning of Al Baraka Garage when I started in Al Baraka. So I was responsible from Al Baraka Garage, and so far we are doing some great things, hopefully. And right now, this is our this year is our fourth batch in Albaraka Garage.
Want to make sure
Yeah,
that we really, get to know you more. So you are a graduate of Boğaziçi University. You're, how many kids
yeah.
do you have?
Sorry, can you
How many,
repeat it?
do you have any children?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a daughter. She's right now 17 months old.
That's great.
So yeah, I'm a new
You're
father,
blessed.
you can say. But
You're
it's a
blessed.
great
It's one of the
experience.
biggest things.
I can.
So in terms of getting back from the ecosystem you're doing, what you're doing in Albaraka, I want to get a bigger picture because you're dealing with so many entrepreneurs from all walks of life, and really you are playing a very important role in the Turkish ecosystem as a bank, as well as your contributions are highly regarded. How do you see the current entrepreneurial and trade relations and ecosystem between Turkey, Africa, and the rest of the world?
So to start with, Albaraka is actually a banking group which is active in many regions. So we have banks in North Africa as well. So actually, one of the targets of Albaraka Garage is to expand startups to North Africa as well. So right now, we are in this year we will work on it a lot, and actually there are some startups coming from these countries and reaching out to us to learn more about the ecosystem, because we are in the center of the ecosystem. It's an important thing because the startup ecosystem changed very quickly.
Sure.
So there are a lot of companies are being established, a lot of are going out of business, and there are new technologies and new business models are created every day. So it's a very vibrant community.
That's true.
Therefore, Albaraka Bank wanted to participate in this startup ecosystem, but it's actually quite hard for a big corporate company to include this ecosystem into the bank. So Albaraka Garage is the best way to do it. We decided. So it's actually the first acceleration center which is operated by a participation bank. So it's also has a strategic importance. And right now in Albaraka, actually we are trying to create our own ecosystem. So the most important pillar of this ecosystem is Albaraka Garage, because it feeds this ecosystem with new business ideas, new startups, new technologies. So, and with making collaborations with startups, we are trying to create an ecosystem within the bank. So we are also creating new technologies, and therefore it's an important, it's one of the most important things right now for Albaraka to create and expand this ecosystem. And right now, when we look at Africa, I think there are a lot of opportunities, because I don't have a very broad information about the whole Africa, but for the North African side, we are talking with a lot of entrepreneurs there, and we are seeing that there are a lot of, especially financial needs, because for a startup to get big in a very short time to scale, they need some kind of financial instruments, like for getting payments and money transfer, that kind of thing that has to be provided. And right now, I think from that perspective, actually there are a lot of opportunities in Africa. So actually, we are talking some of the Albaraka banks in North Africa right now to establish branches of Albaraka Garage in there because
Excellent.
we are seeing the need. Uh, and I think it would be very beneficial for Turkey and Africa as well to have that kind of bridges because if we have a branch there, it's gonna act like a bridge. So startups from, for instance, we talk with Albaraka Tunis, so startups from Tunis can come to Turkey very easily, and startups from Turkey can go to the Tunisian markets very quickly.
Absolutely.
So having a foot in those countries actually make things quite easy, and since we are right now in our fourth year, we are seeing that need, and we are trying to act right now because when you're a startup, you have a very limited resources, so you have to spend them wisely. And to access that kind of facilities like Albaraka Garage is quite important, especially if you are coming from a foreign country. It's very important.
Absolutely.
And actually, in the last startup, which is targeting the Cameroon market in Albaraka Garage, so it was a very different experience for us as well because before that, most of the startups in Albaraka Garage was only targeting the Turkish market mostly and the global market. But right now we are trying to encourage them to go globally, go global. And this, for instance, this startup, it's a payment startup. They were actually their founders were from Cameroon, and they studied universities in Istanbul, and they see this need in their country, and they started producing a product. So we helped them. Hopefully, they will be in the market in a couple of months because of the pandemic. They delayed their product launch, but hopefully they're gonna be active in Africa. So we are seeing that kind of opportunities in Africa. I think so. It's a very strategic thing to make those kind of connections, and hopefully we're gonna have some branches of Albaraka in North Africa soon, and we can make this process faster.
On behalf of Natural TV, because we are broadcasting to more than 900 million viewers across more than 40 countries, and what you guys are doing is extremely important over the last 3 years coming to this level. Can you expand more on your vision? What is the vision of Albaraka Garage, and why should entrepreneurs choose Albaraka Garage?
So our vision is actually so we are trying to act as a bridge between startups and the Albaraka Bank. That's our one of our visions and missions is to use their technology within the bank to provide new technologies and new services to our customers. And with doing so, we are trying to use all the facilities and power and knowledge of Albaraka Banking Group. So as I said earlier, we are trying to make this kind of connections with all the MENA region to expand our startups to there. Because most of the startups know European market, US market, because these are like the hype is there. But actually, the MENA region, actually, these markets are empty. There are a lot of opportunities. So if a startup goes to Europe, for instance, or US, there are a lot of swift competition. But if they're targeting the MENA region, actually there are more opportunities and markets are available. So we are trying to replicate what we did in Albaraka Garage in Turkey, in this country. So this is our vision. Hopefully we can do it in Bahrain, in North Africa, and with doing so, we will provide startups a very good facility to open new markets and to open new opportunities. So this is very important for us, and I think
Fazıl
what
Çelik.
Ntr TV does is quite important because to reach people in Africa, it's a very important channel because you know, the media is very important, and when we are trying to get a food in Africa, for instance, we can use that kind of channels. But before the Ntr TV, we didn't have such opportunities. So I think what we are doing is also quite important, and it's a very good opportunity for us as well.
And we are looking forward to working with you and get your startups to the African market. And also there are many entrepreneurs in this program which we get WhatsApp messages, and we'll provide your numbers as well. So they will have access to Albaraka Garage website as well as yourself. So I will go to a commercial break, Ibrahim. And after the commercial break, we will continue if it's okay with you. Ladies and gentlemen,
Right.
we'll go ahead and get a quick commercial break. Please stay tuned to ITB, and we'll be right back after this commercial break with Albaraka Garage coordinator, phenomenal leader, Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik. Take care and all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ITB. This is your host, Dr. Selim Sılay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. I have Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik, who is the coordinator of Albaraka Bank, Turkish bank, Garage, which is a very important entrepreneurial player in the ecosystem. So we'll get deeper into what Albaraka Garage does, what are the startup companies, and what type of investments they have done, and what is the process to enter Albaraka Garage. Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik, welcome back.
Welcome. Thank you very much again. So let me start with how Albaraka Garage works, first of all. So Albaraka Garage is an accelerator. So we have to make the distinction first, because we are offering different kind of supports to startups from incubators. So incubators are more working from starting from the idea, but in Albaraka Garage we are starting from MVP. So for a startup to be accepted to Albaraka Garage, they got to have a minimum viable product. So we are actually helping them mostly when they have this minimum viable product, a prototype. We are helping them to bring this to the market. So how to sell it and how to make it scalable, and we are offering that kind of support. So when a startup wanted to apply Albaraka Garage, is actually right now we are only opening one batch every year, and we are doing it on April. So right now we are started our fourth batch right now, and it's continuing. And they're applying from albarakagarage.com, and we are collecting all these applications online. For instance, in the fourth batch, we collected over 500 applications, and then we have a team to assess all these applications. So we are making a preliminary assessment, and then we are eliminating like 80% of them, and then with these 20%, we are making one-to-one meetings with all of them. So it's like a investor pitch, you can say. They have 5 minutes to make a presentation, and then we are listening and we are asking some questions. And then after they pass this phase as well, they are accepted to our pre-acceleration program. So Albaraka Garages actually consists of 2 programs. The pre-acceleration phase, which is 2 months long, and acceleration phase, which is 8 months long. And actually, this pre-acceleration phase, when they start out, for instance, this year we selected 33 startups to pre-acceleration phase. In this phase, they are getting some basic trainings about sales and growth hacking, and social media, and investor pitching. So actually, what we are doing in this program, we are giving this kind of trainings to them, and these are trainings specifically designed for startups, and they can actually apply what they learned from this training like tomorrow to their business. So we want to see them how they're applying this knowledge to their business, and how they are using the information available, and how they are developing in this phase. And we are making some assessments. After that, there is after the end of this pre-acceleration program, there's a demo day. So they are pitching their startups to our C-level executives, and our executives also make some rating. So they are giving scores to these startups, and we are combining what they achieved in this program and the score they get from our C-level committee, and then we are eliminating like the half of the startups. So from these 33, probably there's going to be like 15 of them in the acceleration phase. And in the acceleration phase, actually, we are going deep down into the business, and we are making collaboration and partnerships within the bank, and we are actually taking them to our customers. So we are trying to use the full power of Albaraka Türk. We are trying to use its knowledge and human resources as well. For instance, like if a startup needed legal counseling, they can get it from our lawyers. And if a startup had a question about GDPR, we are offering that as well. So in this acceleration phase, the trainings are mostly selected from what the startups need at the moment, because when we are adding like a very long training into the acceleration phase, actually most of the startups doesn't want to attend that kind of big training programs, like a mini MBA, that kind of thing. They don't want to attend those kind of things. So we decided to give only the things, the trainings they needed most. So we are actually organizing these trainings according to their needs in the program. So in the acceleration phase, we are working very, very closely with all of the startups to make them scale and sell their products faster. And we are also have a mentor network, and we are matching them with mentors. So there are like different kind of mentors. Like if they needed a technical support, they can get a technical mentor, and for a business support, they can get a business mentor. And these mentors are some of them are selected within the bank, so mostly the experienced bank. The bank, and some of them are from the startup ecosystem, and some of them are actually our alumni as well, because Albaraka Garage has completed 3 batches so far, and right now we have a lot of alumni and successful ones as well. So they're also helping our startups as well. So it is a mentorship also an important part of the program. And as I mentioned, the partnership within the bank, it's quite important for us because we actually established Albaraka Garage in the headquarters of Albaraka Türk. So right now, the first floor of Albaraka Türk Bank is actually dedicated to the startups, and the Albaraka Garage entrepreneurs actually can access to this office 7/24, and it's important for us because we are actually one of our targets is creating the collaboration between the bank and the startup. So it's much easier when you have the startups in your headquarters. So our employees actually seeing them, they are attending meetups together with them, and they're making a lot of meetings to how to implement their business and their technologies within the bank. And so it's actually a very important part of Albaraka Garage, and actually we are buying a lot of products from startups. So if you're a startup, and it's not all of them are fintechs, not financial technologies, because Albaraka Türk is a corporate company. So actually a lot of startups offering that kind of services as well. And actually Albaraka Türk has become the first customer of many of the Albaraka Garage entrepreneurs and Albaraka Garage startups, and that's very important for them, because if you are selling a B2B product, and if it's like a big comprehensive product targeting corporate companies, it's very hard to sell your first product, because when you go to corporates and try to sell your product, they're always asking for reference, and this is a very big pain point for startups. So in Albaraka, we are making POCs with startups and seeing if their product could work within the bank, and then if we got good results, we are buying the product. And actually, for instance, there are some startups I can mention. One of them is TechSign. It was a startup from our first batch. They are working on biometric signature technology. So, for instance, they were having a quite hard time finding their first customer, and with Albaraka Garage, they made a POC within Albaraka, and right now their technology is being used in all of our branches. And then when they sold their product to Albaraka, they were able to sell it to a couple of other banks and very big other corporate companies to different sectors. So right now they are a very successful startup, and I can give one more example. It's Ntr, a gamification company. So they are offering gamification, offering a gamification platform to increase employee loyalty and performance, and we use their product first as well, and right now they are selling their products to other very big companies, so they are also going very successfully. So we are offering that kind of support as well with POCs within the bank. And of course, another part of Albaraka Garage is investment. So we have a venture capital fund in Albaraka Portfolio Management Company, under the Albaraka Portfolio Management Company. So there, when we are working closely with the acceleration program with the startups, if we are seeing their growth, their potential, and we are transferring them to we are starting the investment process with them. And so far we have invested 6 startups in Albaraka Garage. And actually right now our portfolio management company established a new fund to invest in startups other side of Albaraka Garage as well. So Albaraka is actually seeing a big potential in venture capital as well. So it's also growing. Hopefully, it's gonna get much bigger in a couple of years.
Entire
Yeah.
chain, when you look at it from the pre-seed, but you start with the MVP, minimal viable product, and as an acceleration, of course, not just fintech, but anything Albaraka needs, you're building that company and bringing it to the investment stage. But more important, as you said, for these companies, the customers, where they can test their product and get reference is sometimes
Yeah.
even more
Yeah,
important than
that's very important.
investment. So what you're providing is amazing, and I want you to expand more on this 6 companies that you invested. How do you envision further, and these success examples? And in the future, maybe we can host them as well here as success stories with your support.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So one of the companies is actually the Ntr that I mentioned, the gamification company. We invested in them. Second batch, from our third batch is Kronika. They are an RPA company. It's also a very exciting technology because RPA. Let me mention you a little bit about what RPA is. RPA is robotic process automation. So
Okay.
Kronika is providing corporates with some tools to automate some of their processes. So, for instance, you can think of like an application for opening an account in Albaraka.
Sure.
And for this process, actually, it's a very routine process. So the things you have to do is quite similar. You got some documents from the customer, you got some signatures and bulletin into the core banking system, and it's actually a routine process and time consuming for our employees, and it's a very boring one because you have to
Sure.
do the same thing again and again and again. So what Kronika does, you are actually training their software to do the same thing with your computer, and actually
Excellent.
their robots uh, doing this thing for you. So right now in Albaraka, actually, we have an RPA team, and they are making developments on this RPA product, and they are automizing our processes, so our employees can work on more other things that are needed, their skill more. So it's a we are thinking that it's a very important technology right now, and it's a very big trend in the world as well. So they're also doing very well right now. And
Excellent.
one of the other startup is Ntr. They are making e-commerce integration for e-commerce marketplaces. So if you are a seller and if you want to sell products, for instance, in Turkey, there are a lot of different marketplaces, and it's quite hard to manage your inventory actually, because
True.
if you are selling in like 5 marketplaces at the same time, and if you have like 10,000 SKUs in your inventory, it's very hard to manage to track all these inventory and sending the packages. So what Tamantegra does, they have integrations to all these marketplaces, and so you can focus on one screen in Tamantegra, and you can manage all your orders from there.
Excellent.
So it makes the seller's life easier, online seller's life easier. And for the in the third batch, we have invested in Cloti. It's a retail technology company. For instance, they have a website, and when you are subscribed to their service, they are sending you a combine of clothes every month. Or every 3 months. It doesn't matter. They have a stylist, and they have they are creating a combine for you every month from
Excellent.
using their stylist. So it's a very different service. And another startup who got an investment is Womsys, and it's a fintech as well. And what they're providing is they have integrations to 20 banks in Turkey, and they are providing a platform to track all your bank accounts in one screen.
Excellent.
So if you're a company, like in Turkey, most of the companies have like bank accounts in like 7 banks. So
Sure.
because if they have a bank account in Alberca, but they're also working with other banks as well. So it's a very common to have that kind of multiple accounts for a company, and it becomes very hard to track all these accounts. So
Sure.
when they want to make a payment, they're actually going through all their accounts to find them where is their money, and they also want to track, for instance, order payments, that kind of things. Uh, so what Momsys provides is they're making all the integrations with the bank. So a business owner only using Momsys, they can track all their money in all their accounts and all their money transactions.
Amazing.
So it really makes their life much easier. Uh, uh, so it's
These are
another
great examples.
investment of Alverca.
Excellent. These are amazing examples of investment. I want to congratulate you and also these companies which continue this journey with you. Uh,
Thank you very much.
Ibrahim, before closing the show, I want to get from you your final perspective about, the future of Al Baraka Garage, its future expectations, as well as, any messages you want to give to our viewers across Africa.
Thank you very much again for having me, Yavuz. And I want to like say that all the entrepreneurs in Africa, if they want to launch a product in Turkey, and they can reach us. And for instance, we also have I forgot to mention, but we also have Al Baraka Turk as another digital bank in Germany as well. So we have a office in Germany as well. So if they are
Great.
planning to go into the Germany, we can also help them. So
Excellent.
if they want to have that kind of thing, we can help them. They should totally connect with us.
Excellent.
They can write us from Al Baraka Garage website. They can write us from LinkedIn. Doesn't matter.
Excellent.
We are trying to help all kinds of entrepreneurs, and actually in our last batch we have an entrepreneur from London there, so they want to establish a challenger bank in Turkey, and right now we are helping them as well. So actually we started working with that kind of startups outside of Turkey quite frequently. So I want to say all the entrepreneurs and startups in Africa, if they are targeting Turkish market, we can help them. And also Al Baraka provides API. It's one of the first banks to provide APIs to startups actually. And so if a startup wants to use a banking service, they can integrate our APIs to their product and use it. So there are new opportunities there as well. So it's a very new business model for Turkey. But Al
Excellent.
Baraka is one of the leaders in API as well right now.
Excellent.
So if a startup needed that kind of services, we can help them as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it was very nice to be here and talking with all Africa. I think hopefully in the future we can make more collaborations and partnerships
Absolutely.
with African startups and in African countries as well. Hopefully we can establish our branches of Al Baraka Garage in North Africa in the near future. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, Ibrahim. Thank you. I really want to thank you for your time and really giving an amazing view and the story of Al Baraka Garage and your success story as Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik. We are very proud of you. Thank you for all the work you're doing, and thank you to the entire Al Baraka team as well. Keep up, and we as Ntr TV will be happy to support you in the future as well for your initiatives, and especially this program, Idea to Business, Innovation to Brand, and Interest-Free to Baraka. Its whole idea is to connect, the ideas and turn them into business. So, and there are many innovative startups which are coming. We are receiving calls every day. So, thank you, Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik. I wish you the best, and I'll go ahead and close the program with your permission.
Thank you.
Ladies
Thank
and
you very much.
gentlemen, I really want to thank you for your time. We had a very important player in the Turkish finance and entrepreneurship ecosystem, Al Baraka Türk Garage, and the coordinator of Al Baraka Türk Garage, which is Ibrahim Fazıl Çelik. I want to thank you for your time. Always stay tuned to ITV. Make sure to send me WhatsApp messages about your ideas, and let's build Africa together. And together, I know we can innovate, we can create new ideas, and make Africa even more successful. This is your host, Dr. Selim Sılay, physician, entrepreneur, and venture architect. Take care and all the best. Bye.